If anyone remembers, August of 2023, I made Why Is It So Dark? Why Is It So Dark was actually only based off of middle school to high school. Today, we're talking about the childhood. Today's the dark childhood. Why is it a dark childhood? Well, let's just say my childhood was not what anyone could expect. So let's just start this off. So, how this is supposed to work is this. My name is Jake Morris. I was born May 17th, 2006. So anyway, I'm just gonna give off of what I remember from my childhood. So, I was born, and I kind of lived like an average life. It was around like 07-ish, or a little into like late 06. My dad, which we now give him a very interesting nickname, ended up leaving. So it was just me and my mom. My mom ended up having to move through multiple places, and we had to move in with my grandmother, and we had to live with her for a while, and then we eventually moved, and then eventually she got in a relationship with somebody, and we moved into a place in Zion Road. So I was around like 4 years old and 5 years old. Now I don't remember anything from when I was like 1, 2, 3 years old, or 4 even. All I remember is like 5 years old. So I remember like we lived in Zion Road, and it was not like the greatest thing. Like, it was not fun, but it had its fun moments. We went to Six Flags like multiple times for some freaking reason. Like, we went there so many times. I remember like a whole bunch of trips. I remember one time I was like, I had my feet hanging up on the van because my aunt drove a van and she has the van today, and it's now 24 years old. This van is falling apart. Anyway, I had my feet on the window, and I was just chilling, as obviously I was young, so I just didn't give a fuck. And at one point I actually had like a bag of chips in my hand, right? And I just sat on the chair like this, like had arms on it. So I was just like chilling, had my feet up. I'm like, just eating the chips, just chilling. It was interesting, bro. It was so fun. I also remember like a few Halloween too, like Halloween in Six Flags as well. It meant like Looney Tune characters, and I took pictures with multiple of them. And my favorite Looney Tune character is Bugs Bunny. Like, can't go wrong with Bugs, right? But apparently, at the time, I was really into, Porky Pig. So, apparently I was like really happy to see him. I have no idea why. It was not my favorite, but okay. I also remember, a lot of things that happened too. I remember Halloween, and my aunt tells me the story all the time why she does not want to take me anywhere that related to Halloween, even though I'm older now and I know better. So we were given this whistle, and what we did was we blew whistle. The little kids would blow the whistle. If a monster came by, or a person dressed up, obviously, they come up, you blow the whistle, they go away. My ass ended up blowing that shit so consistently over and over and over again. Apparently, it was a very funny story. I also remember the first time I went to the haunted hayride. I was like really young, but we'll get to that later. So anyway, we lived in Zion Road. It was like a very chill place. I remember being in kindergarten too. Kindergarten was kindergarten, honestly. I don't remember much at all. Nothing really important or anything. I remember like there's so much stuff to remember. Ooh, getting into so much stuff. So as we were living there, we used to have I remember now. We used to have campfires. We had like a bonfire in the back. So we would have fire, eat marshmallows. It was kind of cool. All chill nights. Like, it was fun. I remember one time I had like a marshmallow stick. Go like that. Fucking marshmallow fell in the fire. I went through 4 marshmallows before I actually got one. I was like, damn. I also remember like when I was like younger, I remember having Easter egg hunts all the time. I remember I remember being little. I remember this like Christmas at the time, we would make cookies and milk and shit. Now I believed in Santa at the time. I only believed in him for like I only believed in him for like a fucking year. Because we're gonna get to why in a second. We had like stockings and everything. I remember one Christmas morning I like walked out the door my doorway, and I just looked. They told me, and there's like the trees on that side. So I looked that way. I'm like, oh my god! There was like a whole shit ton of pile of presents and stuff, and there was like a shit ton for me. Obviously, I was a young kid, so obviously young kids get tons of shit. And I remember the stockings had candy in them, and we eat the candy and shit like that. And I'm like, it was interesting Christmas. And then like, well, I got the news broken to me about a couple weeks ago. Late night. A couple weeks later, I get told that basically Santa ain't real. And I was like 6 years old. I was like, damn, not real? Shit. Oh well. I just didn't care. I remember one time, I'm dumb. I'm dumb as fuck. I remember one time I had a loose tooth, right? Tooth came out. They told me, put it on the pillow. Tooth fairy would get it. I lift the pillow up, and for some fucking reason, I find a sock. I have no idea how it got there. No idea why it was there. I look under, and I was like, there's a sock here. That's not $1. Tooth fairy gives socks now? That's something new. I was so confused and like, look under this pillow. And they're like telling me, they give me a whole bunch of instructions. Like, it's a simple thing. Look under the damn pillow. I find $1. I'm like, yeah, $1. And like a couple weeks later, I lose the belief in the Tooth Fairy instantly. And they're like, we put $1 under there. I'm like, damn, nice, cool. Doesn't exist. Damn. And for some reason, everyone was like playing it off like I still believe in them. I was like, no, I don't. I know he's not real. Like, it was interesting. If you wonder why I have a smile on my face right now, it's just because like I'm really tired and I'm trying to have fun with this video as much as I can. So if you're wondering the sock thing, at the time, like, this was not cool. I was little and I had like, obviously every little kid is going through this, a fear of the dark and fear of being alone. Now I remember my punishments would always be sitting in the dark alone. So I never really liked that. So when it was time for bed, I would always need somebody to be near me. So I would always have a mom. So I slept in her room all the time. And I would sleep on the floor. I never got to sleep in the bed. I slept on the floor because obviously my mom's boyfriend would sleep in the bed with her. And I was like, okay, that's cool. However, there was a lot of interesting things for a young kid to not really witness. I saw a lot of parties and I was around a lot of alcohol and a lot of things. So I was also witness to a whole bunch of fighting between my mom and her boyfriend at the time, and they were very like aggressive, like loud. He was always angry. It was like crazy. I was like, holy shit. I remember finding these earmuffs one time. I always like try and find them to put them on so the screaming would shut up. So I didn't hear any of it, but it was crazy. It almost got like violent or some stuff. It didn't get any violent. It didn't have any violence, but as a young kid, I kind of was like, oh my god, is it gonna get violent? Is there something going on? I heard a plate break one time. I was like, whoa, what is going on? Yeah, not fun. Here is where some very bad shit begins. My mom was trying to protect me from what was going on. Completely understandable. However, she sent me down this road of something that's not very good. I got locked. So basically, at my grandparents' house, I would always go to my grandparents during like all the fights and stuff like that, and it was pretty good. Okay. Here is the downfall to this idea. Why was it bad? Well, my grandmother has a bit of a controlling thing where she doesn't trust anybody, so you're not allowed to basically do anything. Kind of basically couldn't really be alone. So like if I went out, like let's say I went out with them and I would go into the store and I would be like, I'm gonna go in alone, I would always have to have my uncle with me. I didn't want that. I wanted to be alone and be independent, and I didn't want that. But she would always insist he needs to go with me, and I was just like, this is where the downfall begins. I was like, you kidding? What is going on? And there's a lot of times where I would always be locked in the house the entire time. I would be locked there into the house consistently all the time and never really allowed to go outside and do fun things. Not really able to make friends because I couldn't have anybody over and I couldn't go to their houses to hang out with them. So it kind of just brought into the shyness of like being self-absorbed to where it's just like, all right, I have me and my family, that's it. I don't need friends. Like I was just alone. I made friends here and there, but really I never really had any type of friends just with anybody because of the fact that I was trapped in this house like it was jail. Like, it felt like jail. It really did. Like, you got bed, and you had like bathroom, obviously, but like you weren't allowed to do certain things. So I got into addiction of gaming, and I love gaming. It's awesome. I have fun all the time, unless I'm getting killed over and over again. If my friend watches this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It was unhealthy, though. It was a very unhealthy relationship with gaming, though. I would always eat consistently, and I got very... In my eyes, I saw obeseness, but in a lot of other people's eyes, I was just fat. And I got, like, very unhealthy at the time, and I was just like, this is not good. This is not healthy. This is not good. Obviously, I'm not the healthiest right now, but, like, I wasn't healthy at all back then. I was, like, holy shit. I looked at so many pictures. I'm like, this doesn't look good. Like, I don't look good at all. Like, this, damn, what the fuck? And then I expected myself, like, whoa. Now it would be, like, playing video games all the time, consistently. But I was never allowed to do anything else. I couldn't do anything with people. I couldn't go experience things. This is where some things my mom did, something that she should have done, but didn't. She kind of didn't really see me that often. Like, she would go to work. She would work a lot. But she never really took the time out to come visit me. And the only time that she did that was here and there. It didn't feel like a mother-son relationship. It mainly felt like stepkid or adopted, or it was just like, it didn't feel like we were family at all. It just didn't feel like that. It really didn't. It didn't feel like family at all. It just kind of felt like, who are we? Like, who are you? Who am I? Like that. I was like, wow, that's kind of weird. And she was the only parent I had because dad was gone. So, like, and she's my mother, and I'm not with her. I'm with my grandparents, locked in the house, not allowed to do anything. And I wasn't really happy at all. I was kind of upset. I was bored of the same routine. I didn't have much independence. I couldn't do anything. And there was a good amount of times where I would have the consistent fear of if I were to wanted to do something and had to get permission from my mom would say no. Like, I would have this consistent fear of not knowing what to do. And I couldn't do anything. And it felt like I was just trapped and stuck in this place. And the only thing I could do was play games and hang out with my uncle. And it was like, that's fine and all, but like, I don't want to do this forever. I want to do things. I want to go out, go have fun. But it just wasn't. One time we went to an arcade. There's an arcade in the Hamilton Mall. It's a fun little old school arcade. It's got a whole bunch of pinball machines and old school games. Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, all sorts of games. And we went there, and it was all four of us. I was not allowed to go in there by myself. It wasn't going to be just me and my uncle. I couldn't, like, it had to be all four of us. All of us. It was me, my grandmother, my grandfather, when he was alive, and my uncle, and we all went there, and I was sick. I was sick when I had cold. That was amazing times. I'm still sick with one right now, but I was sick with the kid cold, and went there, and it was like, I can't do this alone. Like, can I just be a kid and just enjoy the shit by myself? Like, no. I couldn't do anything by myself. It was kind of just like a trapped place. And it wasn't fun, in my opinion. I don't think it was healthy that I was not allowed to do anything or have any sort of independence or have any sort of anything. It just kind of felt like, you're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed to do that, but you're allowed to do this and this and this. And it's like, okay. And I had to follow the rules. I had to follow it. And I was like, oh my God. I was so fed up with it. And what's crazy is, like, this happened for so long. That's why this video is probably not going to be as long as the original Why Is It So Dark. It's because, like, this happened for so long that there's not much to talk about that has happened in my childhood because I was trapped there. I was trapped there. Playing games, eating junk food all the time, doing shit that's unhealthy. And my mind was going freaking crazy. I didn't start questioning why my dad left until I was like 15 years old, maybe 13. I didn't start questioning that until then. That's a long time to wait to be questioning that. But I was protected from thinking about it. I don't care now, but I didn't think about that until then. It's like, wow, okay. But like, I was just trapped. I couldn't do anything. That all kind of did change, though. That it did change. It eventually did change. And I was able to go and do things. And my mom would here and there. We would have fun. I remember a day, and I was young, and we went to Wonderland. I was sick with something. And I remember we got off a ride, and I had to use the bathroom like bad. And like I go, and then all of a sudden I coughed with like this huge cough. I'm like, I'm about to throw up. Like, I'm about to throw up. Luckily, I didn't. I just used the bathroom. I left, and I was all good for the night. I was like, it was going away. But I was sick. And that was not a fun time. It was not a fun time in Wonderland. Just don't get sick. The only really good things that I remember from being trapped there for so long is I remember at 9 a.m. I was young. For whatever fucking reason, I had to be up at 9 a.m. I would wake up and I would watch, making sure I was awake, was Spectacular Spider-Man. It was on a certain network, and it would have Spectacular Spider-Man reruns play, and I would be watching that every morning. And at one time, the last time I remember watching it was a couple years ago, and all I remember was when Venom said, Peter Parker is Spider-Man, and then it went off the commercial, and I never saw an episode ever again until I got it on DVD later in like 2016 or 17 or 18. I don't remember, but it was like years later until I got to see more of it. Besides me being pissed at the fact that I had to wait so long to see the rest of this cliffhanger. But yeah. That's all I could really remember that was really good. I remember a lot of times we would wake up in the morning to go to Dunkin'. That was like, I would go to Dunkin' Donuts, get donuts all the time. And we would get like 12 donuts, and my ass would end up eating 6 of them in a day. 6 the next day. And yeah, this is how unhealthy that was. I would eat a whole dozen donuts in 2 days. Is that normal? Maybe. If it's not, then okay. I can't really remember too much because it was all just trapped. I was just trapped there. I remember a few good Christmases though. I remember my aunt and I used to do this tradition. Every Christmas I would get a Just Dance game. I got Just Dance 2013, 14, and also 15. And then we got one of 18. I remember getting these. And I remember every year we would get one, we'd plug it in the Wii, and I would play it. Yeah, I did forget to mention, during Zion Red, I would go and visit my aunt here and there. And I would always play on the Wii all the time, and I would play Super Mario Bros. Wii all the time. It was my favorite game, and I still played it. I still play it to this day. I'm like really good at it now. But like before, when I was shit, I would only just be like, I don't know how to play Mario on the Wii. And I would be like, shaking the remote for no reason. Wii Sports. Damn, I love that game, bro. Like, that shit's so fun. I used to always be addicted to bowling. I would always do bowling. I would always do all sorts of things, and I would have fun. My aunt gave me a goal. She was like, try and get the golden ball. I'm like, the golden ball? The golden ball? How do we get a golden ball? She's like, I don't know. You gotta be higher level. Apparently, all you need to do with the D-pad was press a button when you click start, hold down a part of the D-pad, up, down, left, or right, and you get a certain color ball. It would be blue, green, pink, gold. When did I find this out? 4 years ago, 2020. And I've been with the Wii for over 10 years. Possibly longer. This is crazy. I remember as well getting Skylanders. Anyone remember that shit? Like they had like, it was like this post thing. You had like a little figurine. You put it on the post. You play all the game. Oh my god, I remember getting for like fucking Christmas. I was like, oh my god, I got Skylanders. And my aunt was like, no, you don't got Skylanders. I got Skylanders because I got the Wii. I was like, no. And I had this dramatic effect for some fucking reason. And this actually happened. Dead ass. I held it like that. I went like that, like, no. No. Okay. I was like, no. Damn. Whatever. I also remember one year for Christmas, we did a scavenger hunt. Now, obviously, I'm talking about me as a child. All this was when I was young. We did a scavenger hunt. I would have to find my presents around the house. How stupid I was not to look up on a top bunk my bunk bed. How fucking dumb am I? Good question. I am questioning that myself. Because it took over 15 minutes to find one thing that I could have just did this. There. Literally. That's simple. I also, there's a lot of stuff that I remember. So, like, it was fun. Being in my aunt's house was fun. Being there was always a fun time. Being with my grandmother, like, was kind of fun, but it was always, like, trapped. Then the relationship between me and my mother wasn't the most, like, healthiest relationship, mainly because of the fact that since you're, like, trapped in this place, you start to have, like, mood changes. Like, my mood wouldn't always be good because I was trapped there. And my mom wasn't really helping me. So I would not really be all on my mom's side at all. I was just be on the side of me. This is what I mean by I was being selfish and very self-absorbed. When she would want to do something with me, I always rejected it. The reason why is because she would do it out of the blue. It would be like out of the blue, out of nowhere. It'd be like, why? I remember one time I got forced to go watch Avengers Age of Ultron when it released in 2015 when I didn't want to go see it. I didn't want to see it in the theaters. I wanted to wait. No, we went anyway. I remember going to Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice. I remember going to see that movie. And I wanted to wear my Batman t-shirt because I was like, Batman's going to win. And luckily, thank God he did. And then that fucking controversial ending ruined the whole movie for me. And I was like, I never want to watch this shit again. Okay. I'm trying to remember some of the things that happened when I was a kid. I remember going like... Well, I kind of got a little off topic. It was mainly talking about my relationship with my mother. It wasn't the most healthiest. I wasn't the most nicest person to talk to. I wasn't really happy with the fact that my mom wouldn't really visit me all that often, like be like, hey, how's it going, what's up? It's like she'll just pop out of the blue, out of nowhere, no heads up, no like, hey, I'm gonna come visit you this week or this next week or maybe this time or maybe we'll do something this day. Like, it was always just out of the blue unpredictability, and in my very opinion, it really did not feel like a mother-son relationship. It felt like a stepmother or a visiting father or a divorced parent visiting. Like, that's what it really felt like. It wasn't healthy, and I wasn't happy about it. I wasn't happy at all. And my mom still questions why I was like that. And I was like, it's because you didn't put any effort to come see me. You didn't put any effort to be with me. You only came out of the blue, and you didn't really show that you even gave a shit about me. It kind of felt like I was just something you knew or someone you know. It just didn't feel like a family relationship at all. It's unfortunate that the fact it is. But now she's working on it. She's working on our relationship as mother and son. And everything is kind of like trying to fall into place here. Anyway, besides that, I remember... What else do I remember? I remember going shopping with my aunt, like, all the time. And I was always being, like, a brat. Like, I would immediately be like, ooh, what's this? You know, pick it up and put it in the cart for no reason. I remember one time we were with my mom's friend. And it was one of the out of the blue days. We went to Walmart and we were walking, and you know how the attractions are like in the middle of the walkways, and you have like one walkway, and there's like stuff in the middle. They had coffee in the middle, like a big thing. And I was walking, and I just so happened to be distracted, looking at something. Here's the coffee, here's me. Boom, ran right into the fucking coffee. Somehow, somewhere, boom, right into the coffee. I'm like, what the fuck? Immediately, my mother starts dying of laughter, and I was like, ha 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 ha. Yeah, coffee. Woohoo. Like, ran straight into the coffee like an idiot. It's funny. Man, there's like so much stuff I remember. Oof. So much fun stuff. I remember one time we went trash picking. Like, trash, you like find cool things in the trash for some reason. We call it trash picking. Just stuff that people place out in the trash. We would just go through and see if we find anything that's in good shape. And I remember one time I jumped out of the car and went to grab something. Where did the driver go? My mom's friend drove just a little bit forward, inching like she was about to drive away. I'm like looking at the stuff. I'm turning around. I'm like, where's the ride? where's the car? I was like so mad. I was like, damn it, I need a car. I need a ride. It was fun. Alright, so I want to get to the part with the haunted hayride. My very first experience going there, I was like kind of young. And this is why my aunt will never go with me again. I remember going and okay, so we had this kid. There was a kid in this hoodie. And like one of those zip up hoodies. You remember the hoodies that like zip up and you put it all the way up, like zip it all the way up. It was a monster hoodie. Apparently, my mom decides to be an idiot and gets really frightened by the kid and starts running away. Me, I was like, what the fuck is going on? So I run over to my mom, like, what the hell? Where are you running from? And this, like, then my aunt's like, you just ran from a little ass kid. Like, you ran from a kid. And I was just like, that's what the fuck you running from? Like, what? It's like a little kid in a monster hoodie. And I had a monster hoodie at the time too. I was like, it's a monster hoodie. Oh my god, I was like, wow. Let's not talk about the hayride though. The hayride was worse. We get on the hayride. My ass was petrified. My ass was just, holy shit. For whatever reason, I was like a little ass child doing this shit. I was like, oh my god! I was screaming through the whole thing. And I swear to you, I feel like one of the people on the side is watching this shit happen as this little ass boy is yelling, screaming, and crazy. Just like wondering, what in the hell? And she said, my aunt was like, I'm never taking you there again. So then we did it a second year. We watched It 1990 in the spirit of Halloween. And then we did the haunted hayride right after. And my mom was like, oh, I'm not going on it. I don't want to go on it. I'm scared. And I'm like, oh, what the hell are you so scared about? And then you go, and we walk in. And me and my aunt decided to go on it. We walked in, and they had like this little thing where it would go, and it would always be unpredictable. I'm like, oh, it's not going to go off. So I go up there. I'm just like, it's not going to go. And they go, shh. And I'm like, oh, shit. I was like, damn. I was trying not to be scared. I had my hood up. Right? I was just like, we sat on the thing, I had my hood up. I was like, sitting with my aunt. I was like, okay, I'm ready. Year 2. And we start driving the thing, and it's like all the attractions and everything. This one dude was like really creepy. He was like creeping up on me. Like, it was going slow enough where the guy could like lean over and see. And I'm like over here, I'm like, what the hell? My aunt over here is just having fun. She's like, oh my god, my lost husband. Give me a kiss. I'm like, she's just being weird and the freaking actor's out. And I'm just like, oh my god. I'm just laughing. It's so funny. And she's like, she's in her 70s now. And yeah, she's always fun to hang with. I'm not gonna lie, it's like all the time. So anyway, I went for a 3rd year in a row, and I was with my friends. You guys know who you are. It was a fun year. That was fun. I want to do it again. They did it again, like, I think last year. I didn't go because I wasn't notified. Or I didn't know about it. So, unfortunate. But I went 1 year with them. It was fun. It was, like, a great night. We go into, like... Oh, wait, hold on. Let me give you a story real quick. The night I went with my friends, it was somehow the biggest problem with everybody I knew, minus my friends. It was basically a problem for my aunt and my mother. It was also a problem for my grandmother and my uncle. I was like, why? They drove me there, and I almost had to walk in with the haunted hayride with my uncle when I was old enough to be. I was like literally what am I? I'm sophomore or junior in high school. I shouldn't have to have a little babysitter go in with me. Should have no been reason that was suggested at all. This is what I'm talking about. Like, I'm old enough. I don't need a fucking babysitter. I never did, and I never will. It didn't need him. In fact, it was even suggested pissed me off to the point where I called her out. I literally called her ass out. She shut up. Walked out. I was like, yeah, shut up. Don't need. Damn. However, I got this phone call. I'm like, yo, Jane's been awake for way too long. I'm like, I have a key to the house. Why is this a problem? Like, I had a key to the house. I could just easily she can go to sleep. lock the door, and I could just walk in, unlock the door, and walk upstairs. It's like a simple thing. But it was crazy, and it was like, oh my God. The one night I decided to go hang out with my friends, it's like a whole big fucking deal. And I was just, this is what I'm talking about, like, back to the trap story. Like, when I was trapped, and it kind of felt like if I were to do anything with anybody, there was always some problem going on. Some issue would always prevent it from happening, or preventing me from having a fun time with people that I wanted to hang with. And it pissed me off because I never once complained about anybody else that I knew. Like, I never once complained that my mom would hang out with her friends. I never complained when I was with her and we all hung out together. Yeah, it would be fun and all, but I never once complained about it. But when I wanted to hang out with my friends, the opposite way, she would go crazy. And that would always piss me off. So she doesn't do it now, but she did it consistently in the past. And it would always make me irritated because it just made no sense. If I were to be honest, in the early days, my mom was a heavy drinker. She drank a lot, and she would always end up having a lot of drunk nights. One night, in a drunk tangent, she kind of dropped, like, a very interesting bombshell to me. She was like, I wish I never had you, type of thing. Yeah, I know, we went from, like, fun to dark. I'm sorry. She's like, I wish I never had you. This stuck with me. Like, that's not gonna go away. It was a drunk tangent. At the time, I didn't know it was a drunk tangent. She was like, I wish I never had you. Like, I wish I never had you. And that was it. That was the story. I smelled alcohol under her breath, too. And it was like, okay. But the way she acted in the past was, like, so bizarre. And a lot of times, I would always go to my grandparents' house for her to hang out with her friends. And this is where the crazy part begins. She was okay to hang out with everybody she wanted to, be with whoever she wanted to be with, and have fun. And my ass would always have to be short end of stick, not get to do anything with my life and do anything at all and have no fun. It was always the same shit, trapped, stuck in this cycle of not having any fucking freedom for who I am as a person to do what I wanted to do. I had no freedom at all. And I know so many young kids, I see them nowadays, I've seen them so many times that every young kid had so much freedom, but me. Am I jealous? No. I'm just saying that I was never given this freedom at all. I didn't get to hang out with my friends. I didn't get to do this, but everybody else got to do that, and my mom got too. And I was always pissed at her because it made zero sense to me. It was like, you get to do whatever you want to do, but I can't hang out with my people. Like, I can't hang out with my friends. Or if I made a friend, I can't hang out with them unless I need to have, like, some fucking babysitter above me, with me at all fucking times. It just made no sense to me that I had very little freedom. I was very not allowed. And it was never my choice. It was never my choice. It was always everybody else's choice. Everyone had to make the decision for me. And it was like, that's not fair. That I didn't even have any say in anything. And it always pissed me off. Now, if we were to get into another part here, it just really irritates me that this is the way I had to live. And I made this promise to myself that if I were to have kids in the future, whether it be in my 20s, 30s, 40s, whatever the fuck age I am to have kids, I will make sure to give them the best life possible. I want to give them the life I never got. I want to give them more than what I was given. I want to do better. I want to do better than what my dad did, walking out. I want to do better than what my mom did, leaving me to my grandparents. My mom right now, she's trying to, fix the gap that she left. She's trying to fix it and try to rekindle a mother-son relationship again. However, I feel as though the glass has already been broken. And at this point, we're trying to glue the shattered pieces together and put them back into a frame. And I feel like at this point, that's what this is all it is a shattered glass that we're trying to glue. But everyone knows that you can try and Gorilla Glue them, tape them together. If it's not going to hold together, it's not going to hold. It's going to stay shattered. I remember this dream. I mentioned this last time. I had a dream where I had a wife, I had 2 kids, and my friends were living their best lives. My mom was living her best life, and I was living pretty good too. I don't know what I was doing, but I've enjoyed my life too. And I was just giving my children the life that I want to give them. the life I didn't get to have. Like, I gave them more freedom. Obviously, they're getting disciplined, like, consistently. Obviously, I'm going to be a fucking parent. But they had more freedom, and they looked more happy and enjoyed life more than I did. Like, they had more. What I was given was kind of like, I wasn't given anything. I was just given, you got this house. Like, I appreciate everything that everyone has done for me to this point. I can probably forgive, but I'm not going to forget the fact that I was trapped in a house. I was never allowed to have any sort of freedom. And I still struggle somewhat to this day about that. And what's also crazy is I have trust issues, mad trust issues, because of this effect. I don't know how to trust people because I never was around people. I was always around the same few people over and over again. So when it came to trusting other people, meeting people, and trusting people, it was kind of difficult to evolve to that. And it's still hard to this day. I mean, in general, it's hard to trust people, but it was really difficult. I trust a few people, but I don't trust everyone. And I kind of blame a few things for all this because of the fact that I was trapped in this house for so long. The moment... Now, if I were to give, I know I'm talking about 2020 here. I already explained something I forgot to mention. In 2020, my grandfather passed. I said this is the third time it's been mentioned. But he died. But right after that, I made this promise to myself. I said, you know what? We need to change our ways. We need to be better. We need to be better than who we were yesterday. We need to be better than who we were before. We need to be better. We need to be. We have to be. So I made the promise to be better every single day and try to be a better me. As cliche and corny as it sounds, it's true. I'm trying to be the best version of who I am. And that is what I'm trying to do at this very moment. And every single day I wake up, I make sure to be the best of who I am and try to give everything I have to be me, who I'm supposed to be. The guy I was in 2020 does not exist anymore. The guy I was in 2021 doesn't exist anymore. The guy I was in 2022 doesn't exist anymore. The guy in 2023 is about to be non-existent soon because the guy in 2024, this year, is going to be the guy for now until I decide to change again. I'm trying to change for the better. Be a better person, be better me, and give everything. This last year, my friend was going through a tough time in his life, and he was thinking of committing suicide. And I helped him through it. I helped him get out of that mindset. I helped him in a way. I got him to slowly get out of that mindset, get him out of that space. And when people wouldn't listen to him, I would listen to him, and I would help him, and I would give him advice. I still do to this day, but I will always be there to help him. Whenever he needs me, I will always be there. And it also goes for anybody who watches this who is a real one, my real friends, my real ones, the real ones. To the real ones, I will always be here. I will always have your back. I'm most of the time available. So if anything you need to talk about that no one else will listen to you with, I will listen. I will always be here. Trust me. I will. I know one friend asked me, he said, hey, if I needed somewhere to stay for a night. I don't know, this question came out of the blue, but he was like, if I needed someone to stay for a night, like I needed somewhere like that very night, would you let me crash at your place? I said, yeah, absolutely. If you need it, you can. I have no problem with it. He's like, thanks, you're a real one. I took that to heart because no matter what I go through, no matter how many times I've hit bumps with my issues, with my problems, with my things, I will always be here for the people. I will always be here for the real people. People who have my back, I have theirs. I'll always be here. And even if I have those nights and days where I feel like giving up or just leaving everything, I choose not to because of the fact that, well, I want to help people. I want to help the world. even though I'm not choosing to be a doctor, or even though I'm not choosing to do certain careers that do that, I'm trying to be like, and if I were to be honest right now, I'm just going to take a moment right here. The point of this video, and the point of Why Is It So Dark, The Dark Childhood, and Why Is It So Dark, is to take off from the stories of this and to know that no matter what you go through, no matter what happens, whether it's positive or negative, no matter what happens, you just need to trust the process. Everything will be fine. Everything will be okay. Trust me. And if I'm being honest with you, everything is okay. I'm looking at myself now. I purchased a whole ass PS5 by myself with my own money. I bought a PC with my own money. Minus the TV. That's the only thing I didn't buy. And you know what? I'm not going to go that way. Because I didn't buy an Xbox. I just buy PS4. Anyway. I purchased like 95% of the stuff in my room. I have purchased myself with my own money that I've earned and made. I did it myself. And I didn't need help to do it. But to be honest with you, I would be lying. I did need help. And what I'm very grateful for is to know that I'm not alone. I'm not on my own anymore. I'm slowly learning that. I want everyone to take away from these is just no matter what you go through, just keep moving forward, keep going. You're only one step away from something better. You're only one step away. Because the moment you give up, there's a regret that you will live forever in your mind. The moment you don't take that step, the moment you don't take that opportunity, the moment you don't take something that's there and it's open, it's gonna disappear and never come back. And you're not gonna get it back. So whether you do athletics and you get a scholarship to a college, or you get an application for like a big professional league, take that opportunity, take the risk and go for it. Don't decline it. Take it. Trust me. Take it. I know I'm sitting here at the end of this video giving advice and saying things when we were all supposed to be here for childhood, but to be honest with you, this is all I have to really say. Thank you for listening to this video. Thank you for listening to this backstory of what has happened in my childhood, what has happened when I was younger. Obviously, if you want to know what happened in middle school and high school, just go to the Why Is It So Dark back in August. I was posted a little earlier. So I hope you enjoy that. And yeah, I'm really hyped to release this tonight. There's sunlight outside. I love to see sunlight because my ass knows it's 6 in the morning. The only thing I know is there's one more piece of advice I want to say is do what you love. Do what you love. You have a passion for it, you love it, do it. See, that's what I'm doing. I want to be a professional wrestler in the future. I want to be world champion. As I point to something you can't see. But I want to be a world champ. That is my goal. I want to main event WrestleMania if I can make it to WWE. If I make it there, I want to main event WrestleMania. At least one night. And now there's just 2 nights. I can. There might be a possibility. That's what I want. Maybe I'll go to AEW, maybe I'll go to WWE. It doesn't matter. As long as I'm doing what I love, that is what I choose. I chose this because I love this. And it is the one thing that I'm obsessed with. It's one thing that I think about every single day and night. And to be honest with you, if you're not obsessed with what you love the most, it might not be for you. Because if you are obsessed and it's everything that you can think about, I would suggest you pursue that. Like, say you're obsessed with art, you love making it, you love making something beautiful. Do it. Pursue that. Don't ever think to the point where it's like, you know what, I don't have a chance. You do. Trust me, you do. I thought I didn't have a chance in professional wrestling. And look at me now. hold a world championship. I'm with I was with these friends who made this nice little backyard fan club, and we all became our own characters, and we wrestled for real, and we had fun becoming professional wrestlers, practicing the ropes, understanding it, and in the future now, when we get older, we get to go to the real world and actually experience it. Get to be part of AEW in the future, get a part of WWE. Of course, we're going to have to go to Monster Factory or Nightmare Factory or New Japan Pro Wrestling Training School. Like, we have to go train, but, like, we're so ready for it, and we're excited. I know I am. I'm excited to go because I love it so much. More than anything else in the world, it's the only thing I think about every single day. What's ironic is there's a few times where you would catch me listening to a wrestling theme in my AirPods because of the fact that I just want to get motivated to be like, I love that shit. I still do. Love it so much. Pursue what you love. That's all I can tell you. So, in conclusion of this video, besides my little ramblings, because this is longer than it should be, besides my little ramblings of motivation and all that stuff like that, saying pursue what you love, like, besides my ramblings, yeah, to my real ones, thank you. Thanks for listening. And to be honest, I know who I am now. And I know damn well that I'm better than who I was back in the past. I'm a better version of me than I've ever been before. I'm who I'm supposed to be. Even though the lunatic's not going to be no more this year, it's going to become Drew Matthews. I know exactly who I am. I know exactly what I'm supposed to do. I know exactly what I'm made for. Whether I'm alone and on my own, with a whole group behind me, doesn't matter because I know exactly who I am. I know what I want. And I'm going to do exactly that. I will be a professional wrestler. I will do that. In the future, I want to have kids to give them the life that I didn't get to have. And to give them a better life. And to be the father that my father never was. And to be honest, I want to rub that in his face that I was better than him. Way better than him. And I kind of also want to stick it to the people who don't know exactly who the hell I am. And tell them, this is who I am, man. Whether you care or not, this is who I am. I'm not the same person. Whoever you met back years ago, that person don't exist because I'm a whole different person now. I'm different. I'm better. I'm older. Physically dying because wrestling, but, like, love it. I love who I am, and I accept who I am. Whether you love me or hate me, always be here.